Hello and welcome back to Channel England Football. My name's Garrett and we're finally here. Euro 2020 is finally kicking off, albeit in 2021. But this Friday, it's Turkey versus Italy. And then as an England fan, obviously I'm looking forward to England's first game, which is this Sunday, Wembley Stadium, 2 p.m. against Croatia. Come on, England. This video is going to be my thoughts on that game. So I'm going to be looking at the Croatian squad. I'm going to give him my predictions on what I think the final score will be. And I'll also be choosing my starting 11 for that Croatia game. So without further delay, let's get straight into this one. Okay then, so looking at these two teams. So Croatia, over the past 6 months, 7 months, actually aren't on the greatest form. So I'm looking at their past 8 games, which takes us back up to last October. They've had a mixed bag of results. And I think, put it this way, if these are England's last 8 results, we'd already be calling for Gareth Southgate's head, or I know a lot of fans would be anyway. So going back to the earliest game, you've got last October, they lost 2-1 to France. And you think, well, fair enough. Obviously, France are everyone's favourites, I think, for the Euros. But then following that, in November, they lost 2-1 to Sweden. They then lost 3-2 to Portugal in November. They then lost, more importantly, and these most recent results I think matter, they lost 1-0 against Slovenia back in March. They only just narrowly beat Cyprus the same month, a few days later. They beat 1-0, that was. They then beat Malta 3-0, so a little bit more convincing. But then, as most recently as this week, so on Tuesday, they drew 1-1 with Armenia and lost 1-0 to Belgium. So obviously taking the Belgium, France and Portugal results out, you know, obviously because they're top quality teams, you'd think, well, fair enough. But you'd certainly be expecting Croatia in the past 6 months to have beaten Armenia, Slovenia and Sweden, and in 2 of those games they lost, never mind picked up a draw. So I know form can go out the window come the tournament time. Form can go out the window. Obviously a lot of teams we've seen in the past who before the tournament haven't been very good, and then they come into the tournament and they start ripping trees up and start pulling out performances out of the bag, and you think, well, where's that come from? This Croatia team obviously is more than capable of that. Looking at the squad, obviously they've still got your Modric, there's obviously Kovacic, we'll know, Perisic, you know, so there's still some big names that in there that a lot of people all over Europe and the world will know about. But they've lost players like Rakitic and Mandzukic. I don't think this Croatia team is as strong as what it was in the World Cup semi-final. I really don't. I think obviously the most recent game against them in the Nations League, 2 games actually against them in the Nations League following the home and away games, I think over both games we were far better than them, and I do honestly mean that. I think we should have beat them in Croatia behind that closed door game, and at home at Wembley we should have been 2-3-0 up at half time. I'm not saying, but this is me now, I'm not saying it's going to be a walkover. It clearly isn't. They've clearly got quality in there. On the day, Croatia can give anyone and beat anyone on the day. They really can. But looking at the 2 squads, I think England's obviously form over the past 6 months has been far better than Croatia's. I think, looking at the 2 squads, we've got far much more depth. I think England have to be favourites for this game. I really do. And I know that's not just me as an England fan saying it. I've seen other people from other countries saying they fully expect England probably top this group. However, Croatia are the toughest group for England. Toughest game in the group for England. Although, you know, it is pretty close to the Scotland game. I know, obviously, Scotland haven't got the same quality as Croatia, but like I've said in previous videos, that England-Scotland game is almost a local derby, so you can never, ever write that off as being England's, you know, an easy win for England. It won't be. But I do think this Croatia game is slightly the more difficult of the 2 games. The key for us is controlling that midfield with Modric still there. We need to make sure, I think, we pack that midfield out, and I think with the players we've got now who can keep the ball a little bit better, I just feel like, you know, England could have too much quality for this Croatian team. That's my hope and thoughts, though. I genuinely do believe that. I'm going to quickly get into my score predictions before I go into my starting 11. So I think given the way England have been playing recently, Croatia's recent results, the 2 squads, I think given the fact that England are at home, I'm going to go with, I don't think England will keep a clean sheet. I think in recent games and still we're quite shaky. And I think Southgate then will play an option where we play quite defensive. So then I don't think we're going to score a lot of goals neither. So I'm going to go for a narrow win. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think England will have enough qualities to grab a couple of goals, but at the same time, I just don't feel like we're defensively strong enough to keep clean sheets at the minute, particularly because I'm not sure what system he's going to play. Obviously, Maguire's not going to be there. He's not going to be fit. And then it's who he trusts with Stones. I think if he picks Mings, you know, I'm going to worry a little bit, but I don't think he will. But yeah, I think England will win this game 2-1. Right then, so looking at the starting 11. Now, I know this will not be Gareth Southgate's starting 11. I am not picking Gareth Southgate's starting 11. I'm picking my starting 11. I didn't want to do Gareth Southgate's starting 11 because I just feel like that's for him to decide. Most people know roughly what it's going to be. Given, I think obviously there's a toss up between the attacking players probably. But other than that, this is my starting 11 because I want to go something a little bit more bolder and a little bit more attack-minded and in my eyes a little bit more exciting. And I know whether in a million years this is going to be the squad that plays, but if I was England manager, this is what I'd be playing. So I'd have Pickford in goal. Like I said, I think he's hands down England's number one. No doubt about it. So Pickford, goal, done, dusted. Then at the back four, I would play a back four. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to pick Walker. And if anyone looks back at my previous videos, I am pretty sure Walker is the player I didn't pick in my Euro 2020 squad. But that I'm pretty sure it's a 23-man squad, but it might have been a 26. So, you know, I'm picking essentially a player originally I wasn't going to take. So, but I would have Walker at right back. I would then have Stones and Coady then at centre-back. I've said it before, I just like Connor Coady. It was a real toss-up between him and White. I don't think Ming should be anywhere near it. And then at left-back, I'm going to go for Luke Shaw. I just think he's had the better season out of him and Chilwell, and I think if we get the Luke Shaw that's been at Man United this season, it is a real threat. Moving on to the midfield then, I'm going to play one, and I mean this, one holding midfielder, and that would be Declan Rice. So I'll play Declan Rice as holding midfielder, and then I would play... Here we go, and I'm just going to fit them all in. I'm going to go for Mount and Foden as attacking central midfielders, and then I'm going to go for Rashford alongside Kane up front, and then Grealish on the other side. That would be my starting 11, and I know a lot of people are saying that's ridiculous, but I wanted a team where Mount, Foden and Grealish and Kane were all in it, and that's how I've done it. It's as simple as that. And yeah, that would be my starting 11 against Croatia. I know Southgate is probably, let's all be honest, probably going to go play 5 at the back, and that's fine. You know, if he wants to reassure the defence up, let him do so. It's going to be quite interesting, though, that if it's almost, we're a centre-back down, so what he's going to do then is play a system where we need to find an extra 2 centre-backs, and the likelihood is that those 2 centre-backs are probably going to come from a right-back, which is, when you start to think of it all like that, it's a bit odd. But I think he'll play 5 at the back. That means I think Walker and Trippier may start together. And obviously we'll have the attacking fullbacks then, wing-backs, sorry. And then I think he'll play... I think he might then even play 2 holding midfielders as well. So I think he might then have Rice and Phillips. But we'll see. You know, I know a lot of negativity is around that, but... Clearly at the back, we're not very strong. Right, so that's it from me. I know it's a very quick video. The reason why these are going to be probably around this length, no longer than 8 to 10 minutes, is because obviously these are going to come thick and fast now. I want to make sure I've got enough time to film it, edit it and then upload. So I'm going to try and keep them as short and sweet as possible. So I'm going for 2-1. That's my England squad. I know a few of you have already put your England squads on my comments. So I think it's Solomon. Big shout out to you, mate. I like your squad. See, you played 5 at the back. I don't know if that was Southgate's squad actually or yours, but again, nice squad that you picked there. So please, everybody else, let me know what your squads are going to be. Let me know what your score predictions are going to be. And come on, England, let's have you Sunday. Let me know where you're going to be watching the game as well. On Twitter, please follow me on Twitter because I'll be showing you guys what I've set up for my Euro 2020 big screen set up within my garage. So yeah, it took a lot of work actually. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all on the next video.